Good afternoon. Rule reveal number 617. This is 1964D. And I know that some of the paperwork said 64 Philadelphia, but this is a 64 Denver roll. And I'm getting ready to get it open and start a roll reveal. We'll have people show up as time goes on through the process, I suppose. I don't do these very often anymore. I need to stop not doing them because they are fun, and I have a lot of rolls set aside to open in reveals. I just need to get myself properly thought through and prepared to do this. Let me get my stick, little opening tool. Having trouble trying to pick this one apart by myself. Hello, Crispy. Hopefully other people will follow the lead and come on in and watch the show. Should be a relatively interesting roll. I mean, 1964 Denver is very well known for repunchment marks and double dies. So we got all kinds of possibilities here. Let me get the coins out. There we go. The coins are out. Trying to keep them all in the same order. I had a little spill go on here. There we go. All right. Got my coins all poured out. They all look pretty nice. 5 2009 1DR9. Very nice. 75 in pennies. Good morning to you. All right. Here I go. Off to the races. Let's see. Who is coin number 1? Be Crispy. How did that happen? That's kind of cool. Let me get my camera readjusted just a little bit here. Make sure everybody can see what they need to see here. There we go. Now it's in place. All right, coin number 1. This is coin number 1. And let's see what we have in here. And get just a little bit closer so I can see the details better. And don't quite think we're seeing anything there. Let's check the eye, the In God We Trust. Probably one of my bigger focuses this morning on these coins are going to be RPMs and double die reverses. So we're about to turn over now and take a look and see what we can find, if we can find the coin. A little late die state here. Be just a little bit tougher to find them, but what we're looking for here is going to be extra thickness on the bottom of 1 cent. Hello, Parviz. Richard. Good day, folks. Let's see here. Nope, nothing on that one. Never expect to find anything other than normal coins. However, we can always hope for it. All right. Parviz, I did get your email over the weekend. I am looking to figure out exactly what's going on and get the information to you that you requested. I did not do any coin work over the weekend. I'm getting myself to the point where I am going to start taking my weekends and not do any coin work on the weekends. And so I'll be answering emails and taking care of business Monday through Friday. It's a part of my stress release is to stop trying to work 90 hours a week. So I can imagine anybody kind of breaking down after 90 hours of work, 90 hours a week of work for years with no break. So that's where I'm headed anyway. Still have a few things left that I got to get done before I get to that point. You can see on this coin, we have a few different things to talk about here. The first thing we're going to talk about is all this waxy buildup. This waxy stuff I have noticed builds up on the coin. It comes off of, or comes from, the wrapping process, and I'm not exactly sure what part of the wrapping process that comes from, but it is a part of the wrapping process. It happens mostly in the early 1960s. That's where I've noticed it most frequently. Little bit of Xylol or even acetone would work, I suppose. We'll take this plastic here, take this wax right off the coin, so there's no damage to the coins. Second thing I want to talk to you about on this one is machine doubling. This has some very strong machine doubling on it, and especially if we look up here from the Eastern States all the way across to America. Now, at first it could appear to be a double die, and in fact, very first glance, it gave me a little bit of a thought of double die. Here's how you can tell it's not a double die for sure. A double die, especially like, okay, let's focus in on a given small area. Let me turn my lighting up a little bit and give you guys a little better look at it. Okay, so you can see how the doubling on this is not really doubling. There's a cut right here. It cut into the letter. And this, from here down to here, would be the normal thickness of the letter, but it was cut into the normal thickness of the letter. You can better see that here on the O, where it's cut into the coin. This, what happened here, is called die chatter. And die chatter is when the die is a little loose and the coin bounces, or the die bounces on the coin and crushes part of the design it initially put into the coin. You can tell right here, there's another little bit of that flattening where the die bounced. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at some of the other small areas. The other thing that you're going to see, or you're going to notice with this form of doubling, so you call it, is that there are no notches. So like here, you have no notches. It just kind of cuts into the A, and then the cut just kind of stops, and there's no notching at the corners showing that there were two different A's put together. So basically, this is one A that has some detail taken away from it. Another really good sign that you have machine doubling. A lot of the 1969S machine doubling is pretty strong, pretty obvious, and it is a very, very common thing for 1969. All right, that's Mark's coin. Show you guys some machine doubling real quick to give you a good idea of what you're not trying to collect. Adam, be coins and ghouls. Next up, let's see what Adam gets. Let me move my hand out of the way here so I can see what I'm doing. And nothing of particular interest in that area. Nothing in the eye. Nothing apparent in trust or here on Liberty. So we'll flip her over. See if we have anything discussable on this side. One of the first giveaways on a double die on the reverse of an early memorial is that your FG is extra thick. This is not. This is what it's supposed to look like. This is normal. And then that little steppy looking thing on the side of the base right up here, that's machine doubling. There's no notch here. There would be a notch if there were two buildings placed into the die bam bam, one next to the other. And there is nothing else on this coin. Later dice date example 1964D, Lincoln cent. That's right, Eric tells you we're going to be selling reveals for the next 2 weeks this evening, because we're not going to try to have a reveal show on Memorial Day. Let that day be for memorializing memories. For some of us, direct memories. Memorial Day is where you honor your fallen, honor your dead. Different from a lot of other parts of the world because we do it mainly for the military. A lot of other parts of the world we'll do it on the 1st of November, which is Dia de los Muertos. It's the Day of the Dead. A little bit different, but it's more Catholic thing, and it's memorializing family and friends. Otherwise, our Memorial Day is more of a military tradition. Okay, got nothing on that one for Doug. Yeah, no notching. It's not a given that no notching is machine doubling because Class 6 doubling does not create notching. But if you see a strong secondary, or what appears to be a secondary image, then you would look for notching. No notching, machine doubling. They are very, very different from one another, very easy to detect from one another once you know what you're looking at. They don't remain an enigma. They're actually not difficult to discern. I've seen this die before. I know that big die scratch from the M to the corner of the roof. Or roof, depending on what part of our great nation you're from. I also have a special thing coming up in the next 2 weeks or so. I will be selling reveal spots for a bank wrapped roll, 1943 Philadelphia steel cents. Bank wrapped roll I received. Also have another roll that I'll be doing a separate week so as not to break everybody's bank in 1 week. The 43 Philadelphia roll is one that's special because there's some really nice doubling known on 43 Philadelphia, and these coins have never been viewed. Also have a roll which is that's wax buildup, that's not a struck through. Also have a nice gem-looking 1943S original roll. I'll be doing a reveal on those. This one for Mr. McCumber. Still watching for our first die variety to pop up out of this roll. I see what appears to be a very hairline, minor lower split serif on this one that we will not call. Too minor to list. Let's see here. Can see it. It's barely visible. But you can kind of see a little bit of curving here instead of a point. That's a very, very small split on the lower serif. So let's look for... Okay, so we've got a lot of northeast die scratches running through the date area on a relatively early dice date die, so that we will be able to identify this die next time we see it. I see nothing on the obverse here. Let me check for the reverse. Like I said, that waxy stuff comes right off the coin. There's nothing permanent about it. It's kind of like smudges on a window. They just wipe right off. There we are. Hey Otis, Coin Junkie. Good day. I'm not sure what KAMI is for, Coin Junkie. If I was supposed to see something or know something, I guess I don't. Let's see here. Find my coin. That's the edge of the... There we go. Okay. So there is a die scratch running south out of the throat on this one. See it right out of the crease between the chin and the throat. So we're going to be able to use that as a marker to tell us we have already seen the reverse for this particular die. I'm trying to round down which ones I need to flip over and which ones I don't. So we're kind of trying to learn these die pairs as we move along here. Going to teach you how to do that. You got two markers to remember so far. Two different dies that we have definitely seen. Oh, hay turned into cami. Huh. I know that. That plight, anyway. My smartphone spells worse than my dog does. This is another die altogether. This one has kind of a strong scratch running through the 9. So we'll try to remember that one. And I don't see anything on the obverse. The reverse is very late die state. And normal. Okay. Hope everybody had a good Mother's Day week, Mother's Day weekend. Hope everything is working out well. Had an experience yesterday evening watching the area where I used to live go through tornadic weather. I know there's damage. I know there are lives affected. I just don't know how many and where. This one is also different. What I think I'm seeing is a bunch of little pits near the date area. I'll keep looking for that. Let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse side. And as always, I feel very much for those people affected by the tornadoes. We've had plenty of tornadoes this season that have affected people. It's machine doubling there on the edge of the cornice, on the right side below the RI of America. That is machine doubling. It's a hard cut doubling. Especially on a later die state coin like this, you're not going to see very hard, sharp lines on doubling. Because that doubling was there when the die was pressed, which means as the die ages, so should the doubling. Doubling doesn't develop on dies. Doubling is there when the dies are fresh and new. And this is another one of those ones with the mark in the 9. It's got the die scratch running south through the 9, so this is going to be a non-event for a coin, unfortunately. Finally, I have run into a situation where if I have any of that stuff, I can show you how xylene. I'll take it right off because this is Eric's coin. I know he doesn't mind. Okay, there we go. There's a bunch of it. That's all just wax right there. I'm going to show you firsthand. Try to do it directly under the scope so you can watch it happen. How xylene, this stuff right here, poisonous stuff, but it's called xylene. Will take care of any of that wax. So you dip a Q-tip inside of xylene, and get your tip soaked up with it. It takes just a little tiny bit of rubbing, but not hard. You just kind of, a couple of bristles and a bunch of air, and it just wipes right off. That took 2 seconds. It came straight off. The xylene has evaporated. Here's more wax down here that needs to be dealt with. Must have a crack in the planchet there because it's holding on to hairs. Probably a very minor amount of lamination going on there. In fact, I can kind of see it around. But that will show you how you can completely and easily remove the wax off of BU coins that have wax on. Just do it with xylene. You won't change the color of the coin. But make sure your xylene is very well secured, and also make sure you do it in a well ventilated area. Large room, outdoors, whatever, xylene is very, very stinky, and I'm sure not exactly safe for your nose, your lungs, your body, but that's what it does for coins. Next up, Mark. Get Mark in here. Already seen this die. It's got that very fuzzy die scratch down below the D. And this one also kind of has that chattery stuff around the date. And it's also got the throat scratch that we've been watching for. So we know that this reverse, this die pair, has already been examined during this roll. And so I am going to start skipping reverses. Here's a bunch of wax on this one. I already threw my Q-tip away. But you know what to do. You want the wax off of them, you can easily take the wax off of them. It causes cancer in California. Fortunately, I am in North Carolina. We get cancer from smoking here, and, well, I don't. So made that kind of easy. Let's see what we've got for Otis. This has got the, let's see. Okay, it doesn't have any markers that we know of so far, but there is that one scratch there between the 9 and the 6 of the date. I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I'll be watching for that. Get around the coin here looking for doubling. No doubling there. Let's check the other side. I'm kind of thinking this might be, could possibly be, oofta. That's a double die right there. You notice how the doubling is, I was just going to say that this could be a bust roll, but it's not. We have a double die here. It's kind of hard to see in RICA simply because it's later die state, but here on the C you can see that there's extra thickness with this doubling. That is a double die for you. You can also see here how this is completely covered and it is not sharp. And then if you look down here on the T, you have a notch right here, and you would have notching here and here, but it's just not easy to see because of the die state. Let's see if we can find a place where you actually can see notching. If anywhere, it's going to be over here. This is a very nice double die. It's a very well spread double die. I'm trying to get this E to show me its notching so I can show it to you. Okay. It's, hey, Dan. And, okay, so it's right here is where you've got this corner, and then you've got the corner for the doubling. It doesn't show really well, but it definitely is a double die, and a nice one at that. Let's see if we can see it with our... It goes all the way around the design. There's a beautiful notch for you right there. That, folks, is a notch. It shows double die all day long. That right there, that is a notch. You've got a corner and a corner. Your two corners come together to make a notch. You definitely have a double die. So get your screenshots. This is a monster. It's a really nice double die. I don't know which die, or if we even have it listed at present. I'm only working on trying to get details to show up so that you can see what I see. Okay, the other thing is that this thickness right here, from here to here, is normal thickness for the E. This is extra. And if you go from here all the way down to here and compare it to another normal coin, you'd notice that the up and down thickness of the E right there is far greater than it's supposed to be. So definitely double die. Definitely a nice one. Yes, it is for Otis. Beautiful coin. Beautiful, beautiful coin. I only wish it were a little earlier die state, but hey, you can't ask for everything. Just most things. There's another notch for you. Let me see if I can get it to show up nicely. It's the kind of thing we need to spend time on. That's why I'm spending time on this. I want you guys to know the difference. Absolutely and for sure. I can't get my notching to show up the way I would like for it to. It's too late die state for that, but it is definitely a double die. See how much taller all this stuff is than it should be, like the thickness of the S here. And even the thickness down here, you can see a separation line right there, right there. I probably will show us some notching if I can flip it just the right way. There we go. You can see notching right here on the E, on this E. I think we've already looked at the notching in United on the E. But very nice double die. Very nice. Congrats to Otis. I'm going to put this in the flip reverse out, because we are going to try to collect those, all of those, as we go through the roll. Here's one for Paul. Let's see what Paul gets. So it doesn't look like we're doing much for RPMs in this roll, but we are finding some double dies. Let me back out again, get this thing to focus upright. There's that. Let me change my lighting back. And I don't see anything here, mint mark or doubling. That's another thing I'll tell you. It's never a good idea to look at coins for die varieties or anything based on what you've seen in a book. You want to know what a double die is, and then try to identify them once you find them. But you're not trying to identify double dies by the pictures in a book. It's the opposite way to do it. You learn what a double die is. You look for them. When you find them, you work on trying to match the attributes of the doubling and the markers so that you can be sure that you have what you think you have. Just looking at the reverse here. Because that's, I mean, here that's kind of what we're doing. We're trying to find goodies. And our only goodie so far resides on the reverse. And so we're trying to find other goodies. I need to get a coin out real quick. I need to get that number 13 for Otis back out. We need to look on the obverse for markers so that we can be sure that we're seeing what we need to see, everything about the coin. Let's see, this is, okay, so here we go. Very telling. This has that die scratch that I saw between the 9 and the 6, and I think that was on Eric's coin, so I'm going to have to get Eric's coin back out and take a look. We've either got to change our reverses within one roll, which can happen. It's rare, but it can happen. Or I missed a double die reverse. I'm going to go with I missed a double die reverse and show my humility as a human being who can make mistakes. But that's why I send these to Eric, so he can look through them too. He will find those things that I missed. It was coin number 11, I do believe. This was a coin for Eric. And let's see. Let me find it. That does not have the die scratch I'm looking for, so it may have not been Eric's coin. I am going to go back and find this because I think it's important that it be found. We can take whatever time we have to take for the show. We're going to do it right. Okay, another coin. Let's see if I've got that scratch. And that's what I'm basically looking for. Let me adjust the focus here real quickly. I'm looking for that one die scratch between the 9 and 6. That was coin 15 again, which was Stan. This one's Paul Hampton's coin. Let's check that real quick. Nope. I know there was one because I saw it. I identified the marker. Maybe it was on the coin I just looked at. Maybe that is entirely possible. In that case, I'm just wasting some time. But, hey, we've all wasted a little bit of time here and there. Hey there, Mickey. Huh. I still have not found what I believe could possibly be a missed second example of this double die reverse. And it could very well be that the coin that I just named as the double die is the one. I think, yeah, that is the case. Okay, so I'm going so fast, I'm going slow. So coin number 13 was the coin that I looked at that had that marker on it that I said we need to be watching for that marker. Let's see what's on the reverse, and we found out. So now we're going to be watching for that marker. And Eric, make sure you check over me. Let's see here. This has got a family of little die scratches all around. It's not the one that, it's not the same die that pairs up with that double die reverse, but I mean, we're going to be checking the reverse on all these anyway, but I'm just trying to find, so a little cross hatch of markers all around, the little scratches all around the demint mark, and then a nice heavier die scratch that comes up north out of the 4. So, I'm going to try to memorize this die as well. I'm having trouble getting my coins to sit in the right place for the microscope. Sorry about that. It's just a normal thing of having your eyeballs 3 feet to the left of your microscope, and you're trying to adjust what you're doing based on what you see in a camera. Not easy. Not easy. Okay, here we go. Number 17 now goes to Frosty. Let's see what we have. Okay. That appears to be another pretty much normal 1964 on the obverse. It's got really strong die scratches going east and west through the date across the face. And it is relatively early die state. Let's check the reverse on this one real quick, see what we see. I see nothing, said Dr. Jones. Yeah, that N right there as well. If you look here, you'll see that there's basically one set of one set of serifs. There's a point here and there's a point here. And you see how much thinner that kind of looks. Now, let me take you back over to coin number 13 again. We'll look at that N and you'll see what I saw. Okay, this is coin number 13 again. You see how fuzzy the bottom of your N is? It's because you got two sets of serifs down there fighting one another and a lot of die wear. But this is a super double die. I just wish it were a little earlier die state. It would be a lot more obvious. All right, so coin number 18 now goes to Dan, Mr. Let's see what you get. Basically looking for one marker on the obverse to tell us what we've got on the reverse. We've been through enough of the roll now that I believe we've pretty much probably seen all the different dies there are to see. And we have one really nice double die on a later die state. This is not it. That was coin number 18. Now number 19. Marshall. Not the same. This is the other die, the more earlier die state with the crosshatch of die scratches in and around the mint mark area, which tells me we've seen the reverse side of this die. Or the reverse side of this die pair. The reverse die of this pair. However you want to say it. Doesn't make any difference as long as the communication is there. Jordan. Jordan up next. Let's see what Jordan gets. He gets one of the rusted die. All these little marks are little pits in the die. And it appears as though there was some surface rust forming on the die, which is what gives us all those little pickle marks. So this one is going to be normal on the reverse. Coin number 21. Stan. Now these were sold a little more than a month ago. Or actually, yeah, about a month ago. I'm watching myself these days to try to get to a point where I'm caught up on these. I have an OCD issue of mine is that I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 2 hours. I can't possibly forecast a show for 2 hours from now and then get involved in something else or have to run a chore or have to go into town for something or whatever and miss the exact time that I had it scheduled for. So what I'm going to do as a solution is that I'm going to schedule them for when I believe I might get started. And if I have multiples, I just run a show and turn right around and run another show and turn around and run another show and do them until I'm done and just schedule them an hour apart from one another just to give an idea of how long I plan on seeing them take. So I do have another show scheduled at 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock today. It is 1:39 right now. Going to do 4 reveals today. Got a reveal show coming up tonight where we're going to be selling 2 weeks worth of reveals. I'll probably sell 6 rolls. And Eric will take care of doing a few. Not sure how many. Another case of machine doubling there. You can see how now it's not just that it's on the sides of the letters, because you can also find machine doubling that's oriented on the tops of the letters like this, or basically on the bottoms, and that is simply because of the rotation of the design. But what you're looking at is the fact that your doubling has no notching. It's basically an appearance of flattening a part of a letter that was already there. You can see now that this right stem on the T is shorter than the left stem, and the reason for that is because part of it was flattened down. So this one was for Tyler. Getting a really good lesson on machine doubling versus double dies, all within a single roll. Hopefully we'll find more of the double dies so that we're not one-sided on all this. This is not one of the double dies either. Check real quick just to be sure. And not. Pick up the pace a little bit. Had a chance to get my eyes onto it and get them adjusted to the coins in this roll. Don't go fast at first. I don't care who you are. Going fast at first, you're only going to miss something. This isn't a race. We're not doing this to see how quickly we can do it. We've got the die scratch running through the 9 on this one, which means it's another normal one. So we'll look at the obverse and move on. That one's for Mickey. Coin number 25. Taco John. Usually on an original roll like this, you're going to find more than one of every different die. And this one is the crosshatch over the D, which means, once again, normal reverse. So we'll pull it through. Coin number 26 now. Tyler. Back to Tyler. What do we get for Tyler this time around? That's got those strong die scratches, east and west, through the date mint mark area. And then, yep, then those die scratches up on the face, so that we've already seen this die on the reverse side as well. I'll look at it one more time just to be sure. I can find the damn coin. Where are we? Here we are. There we go. And it is a pretty nice earlier die state. It's kind of a mid die state. But no doubling either side. No mint mark doubling. So there's coin number 27. This one's for Parviz. And this one looks like it could possibly have the right die scratch, but I don't think so. It would have to be kind of a morph of it. Oh, there's some columns. You can see columns here. That's die clash. A little bit of a prisoner die clash going on there. Get it in the angle where you can see it. There we go. Well, yeah. Get it to the angle where we can really see it well. And it's right there. You can see a column here. You can see part of a column here. You can see part of a column over here. And that's probably why the die is heavily polished. I don't really see much of any of it on the front side, just the back side of the head, right over here. So there is that. Probably the first time we've seen this particular obverse. Let's check the reverse real quick. We've got some machine doubling and a double die. How about that? This is a different double die. Check how strong it is in different areas and see what we can pull out of it. This is going to confuse you. This would be confounding if I didn't know exactly what I was doing. Okay. Time to... Oh, wait a minute. This isn't a double die. Darn it. It was my lighting that was looking like doubling. But it isn't. There's no doubling on this. This is all machine doubling. Bummer. Bummer, bummer. It's a normal coin. How about number 28? What are we going to see on number 28? For Paul. And that is not the right die scratch. That's not the die scratch I'm looking for. But could be something. I don't remember seeing that die before. So we'll look. Give it a good once over. Nothing there. Just a bit outside. Ball one. Yes. Roll is a bit odd. It's got some double dies. It's got machine doubling. It's got wax on coins. It's got no RPMs that I have found. A couple of rusted dies. I do enjoy doing rolls like this because this is the real world, folks. This is what you really see when you're looking through rolls. That's part of why I do this show. From the very beginning, my purpose was to show you what it looks like to go through rolls of coins. Now see, I've got a double die there. That's an obvious double die. This is probably... This is not the same die as our big one. Not the same die, but it is a double die. You can see everything. And including the notching on the bottom of the N of cent. I will zoom in on that so that we can take a good look at it, because this is important information. It's important to know this stuff. Let me turn it up a little bit so you can see it better. That is definitely what a notch looks like right there. You have a cut where you have two corners, and there's a cut between those corners. You have one over here as well. So this is an N underneath another N, and that's exactly what it's supposed to look like. An N under another N. Now this is kind of interesting that right in here, this is all double die, and this is all just coin sliding around during the minting, so it's machine doubling more or less. That other one that I saw may have been a double die. I was just looking for it to be something bigger than it was. Get this all straightened out here, and then you can actually see the notching on the bottom of the T in cent. You can see that this comes down like this, and there's like another one sticking out of the other. That's definitely a notch, definitely a double die. Let me pull back out, readjust my lighting, readjust my focus. And show you the doubling once again. If you see any part of this where you've got doubling sticking straight out and it's nice and sharp doubling, probably going to be a double die. You can actually see this in the middle of the E of cent and in the middle of the E of 1. Should be able to follow this around to the other letters, although it's a little difficult to see simply because of the die state of the coin. Those are not really well visible, not readily, not easily. Let's see if I can find something that's more easily visible. See on the inside of the C of America, how the bottom of it is doubled on the inside down here. If this was a nice early die state coin, you would actually be able to see the doubling come over, and you'd be able to see the two tips of the C overlapping one another. Contrast. See how smooth this is, the transition from one C to the next. Okay, And you've got that up here, but it's hard to see, really hard. There's a little tiny bit of doubling there on the edge of the building that you can see. But if you look up here, you'll see there's a cut. That cut is very sharp. That's machine doubling. Double die, machine doubling. Double die, machine doubling. Especially when you look at the bottom of the T. When the light gets on it just right, you see the bottom of the T. It's not sharp. It's not overly crisp. And it does provide some extra thickness to the letters. Not the same double die as before, yet it is a double die, and that one goes to Jordan. Let me check this coin number 29 again, because I thought I saw a double die and then I thought I didn't. So let me check this real quick and see if that T shows the doubling I found on the other coin. It does not. It's not a double die. It's just die wear. Yep, that's it. It's just die wear. No hub doubling there. So I was correct. Let me turn this coin around, put it in the right way. You need to go in heads first. Thank you. Thank you very much. 1964D. Very loaded full of double die reverses. And a good share of double die obverses on these. And plenty of RPMs. 64D is one of those dates that is worth looking at. The problem with 64D, their main problem with 64D, is that for years and years and years, we have been finding double dies by the fistful, and not very many listings have actually been created from those. I mean, I know we've got plenty, but there's probably over 100 different 1964 double die reverse cent dies. And I don't think anyone has come close to taking photos of and documenting every one of them. At least not in the public on a website. Interesting clash mark there. That's the bottom of the throat right there. The bottom of the chin with the throat. If you turn it around this way, you're looking at it right side up, but just backwards. That's for Sand Digger. Next, coin number 32 for Tyler. Keep checking. Keep checking. It's another one that's got that little bit of extra curve to the point on the bottom of the D. Kind of makes it look almost like it's an RPM. But it's not, or if it is, it's not enough. This one's got that die scratch going through the 9, so I know the reverse is normal on this one. And every time I find a new double die, I'm wanting to look, again, at least of the NT of scent, where I know it's visible on both of the double dies we found so far. Here's number 33, Stan Horn. This one's got a big old glop of metal on it, or of wax. Big old glop of wax on this coin. In fact, for the most part, this could probably, yeah, it's just wax. Here's some of it that came off. That's all it is. I just scratched this off the coin with my fingernail. And there's where it came from. So yeah, just wax. Let's see what else I can chip off here. There you go. I just chipped that big body of it up off the coin. And I'll kind of wipe it away very gently. Just if you wash your hands and clean your hands really well, your hands are not contaminated with oil, you can touch a coin and not worry about it. There you go. Most of that gunk just chipped right off of it. Let's look at the reverse again for our second double die, because I'm still unfamiliar with the obverse on that. Got nothing. Got nothing. Got nothing. Okay. So we'll move on on this one. Got a coin number 34. This one for Parviz again. And I've got nothing of known markers on the obverse. So we will flip it over. Look at the reverse real quick. I've got no hub doubling here. So another normal coin. Here's coin number 35. Paul Hampton. Paul gets... Oh, it's a double die. Look at that. There's our die scratch that we're looking for. We know that we have a strong double die on this one. Let's see what it actually looks like. Mano al mano. Let's see here. You see, you can see that doubling on the bottoms of the letters. Man, that's strong. That's a nice double die. There. Beautiful look at a notch. See, sometimes coin to coin these things can look a little different. But there you go. Beautiful notch on the bottom of the N of 1. It's kind of on the edge of your screen here, but still. You see the notch there, and you can actually see the notch over here too. So this completely overlaps and overrides this little point down here. That's two different instances of the design placed into the die, one right after the other. And okay, machine doubling and hub doubling at the same time. Oh, this is educational as hell right here. Everybody needs to watch this video. Okay, so pick it apart, Chuck. Okay, right here you can see a notch, and that works with the change in elevation of the doubling right up here. But this down here, this is machine doubling, believe it or not. This is machine doubling, as is this part right here. But this up here, this extra thickness on the top of the S, the top of the E, and the T, you can see that there's a little bit of separation showing up here. Separation being a line on the high points. That is the division between your letters from your primary and your secondary. This again, double die and machine doubling. This right over here is machine doubling. Machine doubling, double die. Double die. Okay? Let's flip it on around, take a look at something else. Very nice, strong double die on the O and the F of the doubling shows on these letters, but it's not easy to detect. It's not easy to figure out what you're looking at. This right here is doubling. This right here is doubling. The doubling up here has basically worn to a frazzle on the die, but you can see the doubling pretty strongly right here. You can also see that there's 2 points on the R. It's all hub doubling. The edge of the building shows it pretty well, but the FG doesn't, because it's just too late of a die state. The die is too worn out to show every detail of the doubling very strongly. You can see what I'm talking about in that. You can actually see a notch at the corner of the end, but it's really hard to tell what it goes to. But this is part of the hub doubling. And this little line right up here, that's machine doubling. Double die, double die. You see this notch at the corner of the E. So there you go. This is another one of the really nice double dies. This one goes to Paul. There we go again. Double die down here. You can see the notch in the corners. And then flat shelf doubling here, here, and here. That's all machine doubling. All of that is machine doubling. None of this is a double die in any form or fashion. But this is. That's hub doubling right across there. You got hub doubling across the bottom of the letter. So to show you, you can have machine doubling and a double die at the exact same time, and you also can tell the difference between them by watching what goes on in a reveal like this. Alright, so Paul has himself one of the nice double dies. Let's take a look for Carl now. See what Carl gets. Not 100% familiar with this die. Not by its obverse. Let's flip this one over and see what it has on the other side. Nope. Alright, we're going to pick up the speed just a little bit here. One for Mickey, coin 37. In fact, I'm thinking about just looking at the reverses of the rest of the roll because we're not picking up anything at all from the obverses. And I got to get in and out burger with all this. I got to get done and move on. We do have things planned for today. Nope, nothing there. Mickey, I have decided to wait on the mail and take care of it tomorrow because I needed to get some reveals done. And I've been ready to do reveals once again for the last week or so, but I've been gone. Unable to do much because I was gone. Can't do a lot when you're not home. All right. That was for Taco. No, there's another one for Taco. I try not to get the same person 2 coins in a row, but it does happen. That's got the throat die scratch, so it's going to turn out to be normal. It is going to be normal. So last week's auction, I was going to ship, and I had busy things go on this weekend and didn't get to shipping. And today's Monday, and I still haven't done any shipping. Tomorrow is the auction. So I was going to hang on to these until at least tomorrow night, Wednesday, and try to combine shipping one week to the next on your items. If you bid and paid last week, then you bid and pay this week, you will get your items together. I won't be charging any extra shipping. Mark. Here comes Mark's coin. Oh, this one's a little different, it looks like. Wait a minute. I don't think it's got that correct die scratch to be my double die. Got plenty of wax on this one. Let's see what we do have here, if anything. So I don't see anything protruding from the bottoms of the letters or the tops of the letters. Nothing, just nothing there. Next up, number 42. Eric. Back to Eric. See if we can get Eric one of those really nice double dies. Yeah. No, not with this one. This is the one with the crosshatch area over the mint mark. We've seen this one a number of times. Yep. Nothing there. Alright, number 43, Mr. Marshall. That's the crosshatch. That's the same die again. Same die pair. Same result. Take a quick look. No hub doubling. And next up, next coin, number 44, Dan McCumber. Da-da-da-da-da-da. It's not gonna be. Not gonna be. All right. Number 45. Frosty. I don't recognize this one. Yes, Roy, that would be fine. That would be fine. A little bit out of focus. Put you back in focus. There we go. Nothing there. So now number 46. Mr. Jordan. Look at the reverse here. Nope. A little tiny bit of machine doubling. A little bit. No hub doubling. No extra thickness in the letters. That actually should be your first sign of a doubled die. First thing you look for is extra lateral thickness, meaning you're looking for extra profile thickness. This one does have it. You've also got a little bit of a notch that you can see. The notching right there on the bottom of the T. That's what you're looking for. That kind of stuff right there. Carry it on over and see if we can see it in some of the other letter. Should be able to. Okay, here's one that actually shows on the bottom of the C. Let me get this zoomed in here. You can see that you have an extra bottom to the C sticking out here. You got one bottom and another bottom right there. It's this is not a great example of the doubling, but it is one. Sometimes this gets kind of strong in some parts of the arc, makes it more visible than in other parts. You can see the doubling on the top of the E here, right across that. There is doubling across all of the outer lettering. It's just well, not going to be easy to see. And you can see the representative extra thickness. Just a little bit of extra thickness. This one's Sandigger's. I'm going to hold it out for him. Coin number 48 now. This one goes to Adam. Let's see what we have. Well, this one's got the die scratch in the 9, so it's a likely normal coin. Here, we'll look at the other side real quick and be sure of it. Yeah. Just an everyday 1964D Lincoln cent. Now number 49 goes straight to Mickey. And nothing. No doubling, no nothing. All right, number 50. Last coin in the roll, Doug. Let's look at the obverse first. We don't have the famous die scratch, so we only have 2 of the big double dies in this roll. This stuff right here is whatever material the counting wheel is made of. This is where the coin was stopped because it was at the end of a roll, and the counting wheel kept brushing over the coin, shedding its, we'll call it rubber, onto the coin. You can also see some scratching on the coin going in that direction right there. Matches up with the profile of this anyway. So yeah, let's check the reverse. This was facing outside, so it's going to have some toning and some dirt on it. And it is not a double die. So I appreciate it, folks. Thanks for coming to this show. We're going to start the next show here pretty shortly. So if you want to hang around, come back to reveal number 618. Take a look. We've got two pretty nice double dies in here. This is the better of the double dies, one for Paul, one for Otis. Then we've got a more minor double die for Jordan, and an even more minor double die for Sandigger. So that's it for this reveal. I appreciate you guys stopping by and take a look and learn with me on some of this stuff. Sometimes really the only way to learn properly is to see it yourself, and here we are. So I'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes with the next reveal. Thanks a lot, folks.